Choose a realtor to sell your home or go FSBO, flat fee, or hybrid. Home selling, step 4. Choosing a realtor to sell your home is not a default decision, it's a structural one. Who you hire, or whether you hire anyone at all, shapes pricing discipline, negotiation outcomes, and how much risk you personally absorb when things get uncomfortable. That is why this step comes after you've already decided whether selling makes sense, looked at your rough net proceeds, and prepared your home. Those steps give you leverage. Step 4 is about keeping it. Most sellers talk as if there are only two choices: hire a realtor or sell it yourself. In reality, you're deciding which functions to outsource and which risks you want to own. In Abilene in the Big Country, most sellers generally have 5 options: full service representation, team based models, flat fee or MLS-only services, for sale by owner, FSBO is how we refer to it in the industry, and a hybrid approach where some tasks are delegated and others retained. Each structure shifts responsibility, none remove it. FSBO can work, especially in close knit markets. The trade off is not marketing, it's negotiation. Professional buyer agents negotiate inspections, repairs, and concessions for a living. Inexperienced sellers often give up far more in those phases than they expect. Flat fee and MLS only services provide visibility, but they leave pricing discipline, buyer screening, deadlines, and problem solving with the seller. If something goes sideways, you own the fix. Full service representation means the agent is responsible for strategy, pricing guidance, negotiation, coordination, and triage when deals get tense. It does not mean hands off. Sellers who disengage from major decisions often regret it later. Hybrid approaches can make sense when chosen intentionally. Some sellers are comfortable managing showings and communication, but want professional support for pricing, negotiation, and contract structure. The question is not whether you can do the work, it's whether you can do it under pressure. The question that predicts outcomes is simple: are you able to price accurately, respond to feedback without emotion, and negotiate against professionals whose job is to extract concessions from you? Most failures in FSBO and flat fee listings are not marketing failures, they're pricing and timing failures. Overpricing early, resisting feedback, and folding late under inspection or appraisal pressure cost far more than most sellers realize. Marketing supports pricing. It does not rescue bad pricing. No campaign can fix a number the market does not support. When evaluating agents, separate property-specific strategy from brand-level marketing. Much of what gets presented as marketing is designed to build the agent's pipeline rather than change the outcome of a single listing. A useful question is not, where will you market my home, but how will you price it, launch it, gather feedback, and adjust if the market pushes back. Platforms matter far less than judgment. Correct pricing, clean presentation, and disciplined adjustments do more for a listing than any ad campaign. Volume is not the same as skill. Selling many homes may reflect strong lead generation or team infrastructure. It does not automatically mean sharper pricing or stronger negotiation. Team models can work well, but sellers should understand how they actually operate. In many teams, the agent whose name and branding you see is not the person who prices your home, negotiates repairs for you, or communicates with you day by day. Before signing, ask one direct question: who is actually going to price my home, negotiate for me, and communicate with me when deadlines hit. If the answer is vague or it changes mid-conversation, that's information you needed to know. Teams aren't bad, unclear roles are. Incentives exist. Sellers are valuable clients. Listings generate future business. That reality gives sellers leverage, especially when they're not acting out of urgency. Compensation should be clear, complete, and boring. In a typical full-service listing, the percentage you agree to is the amount paid at closing. However, some brokerages are now adding administrative, transaction, or marketing fees on top of the agreed percentage. If those fees exist, they should be disclosed clearly before you sign. Sellers should understand what those fees are paying for. Paying extra to advertise a brokerage or an agent's brand rarely improves the outcome of a single listing. Pricing discipline and negotiation do. Lower listing or agent fees don't guarantee better outcomes. When a mispriced home sits too long, it develops a "what's wrong with that" reputation, and the loss of momentum usually costs more in price reductions and concessions than the fee savings ever provided. Access to the MLS is not the same thing as understanding the market. Abilene functions as a single market, but it does not behave uniformly. Different neighborhoods and price bands respond differently to pricing, condition, and timing. Choose representation based on demonstrated pricing and negotiation skill in your market, not name recognition or success in a much larger city where market dynamics are different. An agent who excels in Dallas or Houston may have full MLS access here and still have little practical understanding of how this market actually behaves. Use open houses as a baseline, not a rule book. Walk a few listings in your price range and neighborhood and pay attention to execution, not presentation. Notice whether homes are priced realistically, decluttered, accessible for showings, and honestly represented. Even good advice fails if it's not followed. Texas sellers should also understand representation structure. The IABS notice explains brokerage duties and intermediary representation. One agent cannot fully advocate for both sides in the same transaction. If the buyer is represented by the same brokerage, you should know which agents are appointed to represent you, how your confidential information is protected, and who has authority to negotiate on your behalf. Step 4 is about choosing structure and representation with eyes open. Step 5 is about choosing the number that determines whether everything else works. That's where we go next.